Hey, gun people. Man, trigger control, trigger reset. Slow, steady squeeze, slow trigger reset. If you want to increase your hit and your reliability and you want to start getting X's instead of just hitting around the X, this is the key. I've done other videos. I've showed the laser. I've showed other things. I was out training with a girl on this weekend, and I took her in a classroom and I showed her the right way, and as soon as she got out there after 3 or 4 trigger pulls, she went to popping, what I call popping or slapping the trigger. So on trigger reset, after you fire a shot, keep your finger back and pull to the rear. This is what's called trigger follow through, shooting follow through. If you hold your trigger back, that means you're mentally thinking front sight, trigger squeeze. You're not thinking bang. You're not thinking, oh, get my finger off. You're not thinking about the next round. You're not looking at the target saying, I wonder where it hit. You're not worried about sirens, rocks flying, whether you're going to die. You're concentrating on trigger control. And that is a key factor on whether or not you're going to get good hits. Now, while maintaining a good sight picture, again, this reinforces keeping your front sight on your target. Slowly let off pressure of the trigger, keeping the finger on it. You shouldn't be breaking contact. See how this finger right here at the bottom comes all the way off? Notice this trigger stays in contact with the finger. The finger and the trigger don't come apart. If your finger comes off the trigger, you're doing it wrong. Allow the trigger to reset. That's that click you'll hear, click. And as soon as it clicks, you start applying more force to the rear or more trigger pressure. So you don't slap a trigger, you don't yank, you don't pull. You slowly squeeze it to the rear and hold. If you do this, people, you're going to be better shooters. Let me show you a video of this girl I was training with this weekend. So you're going to notice here that she holds her trigger back and slowly lets it go forward. Now, she wasn't doing it, and I videotaped her not doing it. I corrected her, and I said, I'm going to get a video out. She didn't know I was videotaping her on the first one. So as soon as I put the video out there, she started doing it right. Why? Because she was thinking. Because when somebody's standing over your shoulder saying, slow, steady pressure to the rear, squeeze the trigger, don't let it go, squeeze it to the rear and hold. Squeeze. When somebody's repeating that in your ear, you'll do it right because it's forcing you to focus. When you're on your own and you just get out there and you're like front sight, rear sight stance, I got to control my breathing. Am I leaning right? Am my grip's right? Are my thumbs crossed or forward? And you start thinking about all this, you're not thinking about trigger pull. That's where you lose it. That's where your rounds start going off the X. So let's watch her when she does it right.
You'll probably do it right.
Slow, steady pressure, slow release.
Videotape it, do it right. That's amazing.
Little fast on the release. Finger came off the trigger. It shouldn't.
Oh, that's cheap.
So then she went back to her gun on. She went back to her Glock, and I wasn't on her about using. I said, just do what you want to do. Just shoot by yourself. I'm not going to say anything. And this is how her trigger pull looks when it's wrong, when she's not concentrating, and when you lose focus. Notice the popping of the finger, quick, and releasing the trigger. See that finger coming off, popping back and forth? I mean, that's just, you don't realize it, but you're actually pulling the gun around and you're moving that front sight when you're doing that because you're not focused on trigger control. Now, it's more important with a handgun than a rifle. In this video, this girl is shooting using a computer app to give her wind direction, spin of the earth, barometric pressure. She has all these factors, bullet weight, etc., barrel length. She's got all these factors programmed in and doing all this in a computer, and she gets a hit at 1,255 yards. That's a long shot for anybody that don't know. That's an extremely long shot. So she gets this hit, and she's got a bad trigger pull. Watch this. So let's watch her trigger pull.
Now, with this rifle, we're going to be shooting this.
It's a 7mm.
I'm used to mags, like 40 mags. Just shoot all day. Never have to reload. All right, let's try this again.
Okay, so let's look at the difference between a pistol and a rifle. We have sandbags. We have a stable platform position. The sandbags stop the barrel from moving left and right. Stops the barrel from moving up and down. You've got a good stable prone position. You're laying down. Your arms are spread out. You've got a scope. You've got a much more stable response. The only thing that's really moving on this gun when you shoot is your trigger finger. So she has a bad trigger pull, yet she gets a hit at 1,255 yards. But Rick, you said trigger pull is important. It is important, especially with a pistol.
God, just circling that fucking center.
Okay, you saw that? I'm going to go back and forth on this trigger pull. She's not real bad by like yanking her trigger off, but her finger comes off quick and she's not holding it and consciously hearing that click of the trigger reset. And that's the difference. So let's watch her again.
God, center. Circling that fucking center. God damn it, just walking it in inch by inch.
Okay, so trigger pull, not good. Not like it should be. Trigger reset, trigger control. It's critical. If you don't listen to anything I say, you can disagree with me. Somebody's going to come here and want to argue about fine motor skill, how much pad, this is too much finger, this is too little finger. There's more than just trigger pull. Trigger pull is just one step in the many things of stance, grip, breathing. Yeah, I get it, people. I'm telling you. I've shot hundreds of thousands of rounds. I've been in, can't remember the number of competitions. Been carrying a gun since I was 17. I'm telling you, out of all my training, formal, non-formal, on-the-job training, actual experience shooting on my own, whatever, I'm telling you, the most important thing that will improve your shooting is trigger control and trigger reset. You can take it or leave it. All right, we'll end that there.